Hey everybody, how is it going? Welcome back to my channel. Well, in this video I want to talk about the oil stocks and some of the oil stocks that are going absolutely bonkers today. I think it's going to present some pretty decent trading opportunities. Also, I have some other things that I am watching that I'm going to show you in this video. But first off, I want to start with the QQQ, which of course is the ETF for the NASDAQ. I just want to go over the market averages really quick because I think today is a pretty important day as far as the averages go. But looking at the QQQ, we can see it's rolling over big time. Found some resistance at the 21 period exponential moving average, just like it did here, and just like it did right here as well. So unfortunately, it looks like there's a pretty good possibility we're going to be taking out this low right here. I thought once we had this big reversal and it held for a couple of days that there was a pretty good chance that that was going to be the low in the market. But with today's price action, I would say that is not the most likely scenario at all. So looks like this is probably going to be wave number 2 of 3 waves down, unfortunately. But hey, it is what it is. All we can do is look at the price action. Let's take a look at the spider, which is the S&P 500, and we can see the same exact thing. We got a rollover. It's testing this support area right here, but it looks like it's probably going to end up slicing through it. Tomorrow is going to be very important for the market averages. If they continue this sell-off, you know, this could be a really fast leg down. But let's take a look at the diamonds, and you can see the diamonds, same thing. Just got right up to that resistance area, and it just could not break through it. Rolled over, so today is an important day. It's a failed test of this resistance, so you know, odds favor is probably going to end up taking out that low. And I'm sure if we take a look at the IWM, we can see that is hurting as well. IWM is probably doing the strongest out of all of them, so that is good news. But man, the market averages are looking like they are in trouble. So tomorrow is going to be a very important day. All right, well, now I want to talk about the USO, and USO just follows the price of oil. And as we can see, the USO is starting to go parabolic. Whenever you see this, this is not a sustainable move. So this presents a lot of opportunities. If you're fortunate enough to time the top with some put options, or if you're crazy enough to go short, there is a ton of opportunity. But looking at the USO, you can just see all the volume that's coming in. This just has all the makings of a climax top with all the volume that's been pouring in. And then, of course, you know, this nice straight up move that we got going on in the USO. And if we back it up, we can see that we've been in a nice little uptrend probably since, you know, the beginning parts of about 2020. Actually, let's go to the weekly chart so we can see it a little bit better. But if we go to the weekly chart, we can definitely see, let me get this crap out of here, I'm sorry. We can definitely see that this thing is just going parabolic. We got this nice little creeping uptrend, nice little orderly uptrend, nothing too crazy going on here. Now you got this move up and then the pullback into the consolidation area right here, and then it starts this acceleration phase or this blow-off phase. And when I say blow-off phase, I don't mean necessarily the all-time top in the USO, but just a pretty decent, it's probably going to be some fast moves, so a pretty decent short-term top. So there's going to be some trading opportunities. Now, until this rolls over, we definitely want to be trading the oil stocks to the upside, because as long as USO is going up, there's going to be a lot of momentum with those stocks. But this point in the chart right here kind of reminds me back of 2008. Let me take you back there. You might get a little dizzy. Stay with me. Don't pass out. But if we go all the way back to 2008 when oil topped out, I think it was the USO topped out. Well, there was a reverse split on the USO, so it's showing 900. But I believe the oil, the price of oil topped out around 160, if my memory serves. But anyway, looking at this trend here, you can see that it was starting that creeping uptrend, nice little orderly uptrend, started to accelerate a little bit, but then it kept pulling back into that trend, or into this consolidation area, and now it is starting to blast off. If I had to guess, you know, this is probably where I would guess we were at. Now, I'm not saying oil is going to continue to scream higher like that, but the momentum is definitely to the upside. And, you know, I can see oil certainly going to $200. I mean, no one would have thought oil was going to scream up to 160 back in 2007, and certainly nobody thought oil was going to go negative like it did a couple of years ago. So, you know, who knows what could happen with the oil contract. there's certainly momentum going to the upside. And, if we just take a look at this channel a little bit here, we can see that oil has kind of exploded out of this uptrend channel. And it looks like it is, right here anyway, it looks like it was starting that acceleration phase to the upside. And if we go back to the current price action, see if I can get there. We can see we got the same exact thing going on. So we were stuck in a nice little uptrend channel, nice little orderly channel, and now we're getting into that little blow off phase where it breaks through the top of that channel, and we're probably going to see a lot of volatility and a lot of acceleration to the upside. I personally think in the short term we are definitely due for a pullback, and certainly due for a pullback in some of those oil stocks. But just looking at the USO, I think it's looking pretty similar to what it did in 07 and 08. So it's definitely something to keep in mind. All right, well, the first oil stock I want to get into is HUSA, Houston American Energy Corp. Ticker symbol HUSA, and this one is painful to look at. I've considered buying this one several times over the past few weeks, and the only reason I considered buying this was, number one, it had a very nice long base, and in case oil ended up going crazy, I thought one of these stocks, these lower price stocks that had a long base, had a pretty good chance of exploding. But unfortunately, I did not buy any of it. But if we back the chart out, you can see HUSA has been in a very long base going back several years. It's been basically left out of the run in the oil stocks that have been running since the price of oil has been going up. So that's another reason why I thought, this one could have a chance of exploding. Plus, it has a pretty low float. But man, I never would have guessed 175 million shares would be coming in, and this trading day is still going. But let me go back away from this huge day so we can take a look at what I was looking at. But I thought about buying some as it jumped above the 8-period exponential moving average right around $1.60 or so. But then I had this reversal. I was still watching it. Once it got back over the 8-period exponential moving average, I considered it again. Then we had another massive reversal. And as it started moving up, this is probably when I really should have got interested, once it jumped up and held that 8-period exponential moving average. But, who knows when these things are going to absolutely explode. I never envisioned this thing going as high as it's going today. But that's what I like to look for in these commodity type stocks. Like when the underlying commodity starts screaming, I like to look for some of the very low price stocks that are in a very long base. I knew I should have went with my instincts and grabbed it, but oh well. Let's go back to present time here, and I am not chasing this. This is closer to a top than it is a bottom. We might get one more massive day up, but who knows? And I actually had this one on my day trading list as well when I saw that it was gapping up, but I never ever would have bought it in the beginning few minutes of the day and held on all the way to here. But so I'm not even gonna be delusional and pretend I would have held that long. But man, what a massive run in HUSA. Next one is NINE. And Robert from the Patreon group actually works for this company, and he's been talking about it. He asked me last week, and that's when I drew this little triangle formation on here, this little consolidation. I said if we get a break above this wedge, it could end up making it to the 200-period simple moving average, the yellow line, and it went beyond that and then some. And actually, Robert bought a pretty big pile of stock. I think he ended up selling most of it right up here, and he's probably kicking himself that he didn't hold on for one more day. But that's how it goes sometimes. You never know when these crazy moves are going to happen. I would have been happy with that pile of stock that Robert bought here and sold here. But man, just a massive move. There's a massive move in NINE, and Robert's been pounding the table on this company for weeks and weeks. So just a great call by Robert. Might have had some inside info there, but no, just kidding. But very nice move in that one. Another one we were watching was CEI. CEI. We can see CEI is exploding. I was talking about in my Patreon videos about once it broke this trend line right here, it'd probably have a pretty good chance of making it to the 200, which it did, and then some. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to buy here. I had an alert set up on my software, and normally it makes a pretty loud sound. And for whatever reason, didn't make a sound. It just went to my email box, and I didn't see it till it was too late, unfortunately. But CEI, just another big explosion. Another one that I was watching was USEG. This one took off without me as well. But man, just a bunch of big moves in the oil stocks. Now, I think if we get like one more huge update, these things are going to be absolutely ripe for going the other way, you know, buying some put options. Unfortunately, most of these things that are exploding to the upside, they don't have any options. The only ones that have it are NINE and CEI. Like almost every other one that I've been watching, you know, doesn't really have any options, unfortunately. But another one that I have been trading probably 3 times over the last 2 weeks is INDO. I bought it and sold it on day trades. But, you know, my experience reading charts tells me it probably would have been better if I had just bought right here and held on for the whole week. I haven't got my calculator out to check that just yet, but I'm thinking that I probably should have ended up holding on to INDO. But you never know. You know, how crazy these moves are going to end up being. I thought for sure last Friday's move was going to be the top in this stock, but this thing just keeps going higher. Another one that is screaming is MXC. Unfortunately, and INDO did not have options, and MXC doesn't have options as well. But if these things had options, I would be looking to buy some put options, you know, probably 2 or 3 weeks out, maybe, you know, 10-20% out of the money, and chances are if the stock ends up crashing, which I think a lot of these are going to end up doing, you can really clean house on those put options. But let's get into the shippers now. All right, the first shipper I want to talk about is CTRM, Castor Maritime. This is one I actually do own some shares in. And by the way, I'm not a financial advisor. All of this is just for entertainment purposes only. So please make all your own buying and selling decisions. Now, I do have a Patreon group. If you do want to join that, the link is down there in the description. It is only $10 a month. And I do a pre-market video where I talk about everything that I am watching, and I'm also in the Discord every single day. So if that's something that interests you, the link is down there in the description. But I am holding on to this stock. I absolutely love this pattern. Once you get a pullback after a sharp uptrend, and then you get one of these beautiful reversal candles right here. I bought on the break of this candle. I think I actually bought in at $1.70, so right about there. And unfortunately, it kind of just meandered around a little bit. I added a little bit more to the position once it pulled back to the purple line, which is the 21 period exponential moving average, and held it. And now it is exploding higher today. It looks like I probably should have bought a heck of a lot more, but this is exactly what you want to see. You want to see that reversal candle, a hold of the moving averages, and then another big green candle on above average volume. I think this one has a pretty good possibility of hitting this 200 period simple moving average. Hopefully it ends up being a lot like those other oil stocks and just blasting through that moving average. We'll have to wait and see, but there's a lot of momentum building up in some of these shipping stocks. So hopefully that does happen. I'm not saying it's going to, but I will take it if it does. Now, another one that I actually just bought today, it stopped me in, was SHIP. I got stopped in at $1.23 or $1.24. See, it's moving up a little bit higher, but this one, I just wanted to get into this one because it's making this very nice consolidation right here, and we got a breakout going on. So this is a pretty hot category as far as these stocks goes, and this is a very bullish pattern. So stopped in on SHIP. Hopefully this one makes a nice run as well, but there's some other stocks in this category. OP is having a very nice update today, up about 88%. So this one just started screaming once it started rising above that 8 period exponential moving average. Another one is TOPS. You can see tops doing a big breakout through that 200 period simple moving average on big volume. So just a lot of momentum coming in to these stocks as well. You know, nice big move up just like it had in CTRM. Pullback, a reversal candle, then a hold, and now it started to take off. I absolutely love trading that pattern. Some people call it a J-hook. Some people just call it a rounded bottom. Whatever you call it, it's usually a pretty decent pattern to trade. Another one is PXS. You can see PXS have another explosion through that 200 period simple moving average as well, up 51% on the day. Another one I want to go over is NM. You can actually see that NM hasn't really exploded yet. I'm putting in a buy order to buy some NM if it breaks above 421. So if it breaks above 421, I'll be stopped in on this one. I think this is a very bullish pattern as well. So NM is on the list as well. And you know what? I'm going to end it right there. I've dragged this video on too long, but it was a pretty exciting day. A lot of big moves in the market. If you guys have any questions on any of these stocks, you know, just leave it for me down there in the comment section. If you see any stocks that you think are setting up for a nice move, please leave that for me down there in the comment section as well. I'd appreciate any heads up on any stocks that you guys might be seeing in your charts. But I guess I'm going to end it right there. Thank you so much for watching my video all the way to the end. And until next time, take care, everybody.